You're live.
I feel like my hair's janky.
It is.
Oh, hey guys. Welcome back to the next edition of Monday Night
Live.
Yeah. We're so glad you could join us this evening. We're excited to be with you. We do this every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. Full stop. And we're happy for you to join us. If you know someone whose health, whose nutrition is not quite what they would like for it to be, you're welcome to share this video with them. It might help them take charge of their nutrition and change their health for the better. It might even save their life. You never know. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, Kevin's in the comments. Hey, Kevin is one of our moderators, and he does a good job helping people out. So if you see him, he's got a little wrench beside his name, and his name is blue.
Yeah. We also have Mitzi, and Paola. They help us to answer all the questions.
I don't know if they're here tonight. I've only seen Kevin in the comments.
Yeah, they'll be along shortly. Where are you guys watching from? Where in the world are you at? What city, what state, what country? I've already seen Australia. I've seen Alaska. I've seen Brooklyn. I've seen Alabama, Bell, Florida, Wisconsin. You know, when I was growing up, I was a young redneck punk. It was Wisconsin. That's what we called it, Wisconsin. Now I know it's Wisconsin. I learned something. You know, every now and then I learn a new thing. Man, so many people. New Zealand, Oklahoma, Canada, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, California, Arizona. All right. I love it.
We've got a lot of Canadians.
I love it.
You guys already had your Thanksgiving, didn't you, earlier in the month?
Do they have early Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think theirs is the beginning of the month. Ours is this week. So if you are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy early Thanksgiving to you guys. Hope you are having a fun-filled keto Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the super chats. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Very much. We always love those super chats.
No, I did not stop the Saturday coffee chats. I had to skip this past Saturday because I had an engagement.
Yeah.
But I'll be back at it next week.
You look great this evening.
This week.
You know?
Yeah?
You've just got a glow about you. I don't know.
I cut my hair.
It's the hair. Is that what it is?
I keep getting comments on my hair.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Did a great job.
Cut it myself.
I know, Exodus. The chat goes crazy, doesn't it? So in Canada, do they have the standard? Is it turkey and dressing, or do you guys have something different for your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I wonder.
Like to know.
I guess it's the same, but I don't know.
I don't know why it would be the same.
Queensland, Australia in the house. Welcome. All right, guys. For the next hour, we're going to answer as many questions about diet, health, nutrition, medication, low-carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, intermittent fasting as we possibly can. Try to keep your questions short and pithy and succinct, yet full of information. And we will try our best to answer as many as we can. And I'm going to tell you at the end of this video, if you've got more specific questions about your personal health, then I'm going to tell you a way that you can have direct access to ask me your questions.
Yeah, Thanksgiving in Canada is in October.
October.
Hey, Holly. Happy Thanksgiving.
How does your abuela say it?
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's so cute. I love it.
All right, guys. You ready to take some questions?
Let's do some questions. Let's do it.
Questions. Thank you. It is my hair.
It's something. I don't know.
All right. Let's see here. Oh,
Johnson
wow.
City.
We have some
naughty
I
know. You guys are being naughty. You're just too hot tonight. You're bringing out the pivots.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for taking care of that for me. It's happening.
You're getting the natives all fired up.
Tia says, hey, Dr. Barry and Neisha, just started carnivore and have had headaches every day for 2 weeks. Is this normal? I take 25 drops of keto chow fasting drops every morning, and I use a lot of red mint salt.
Yep. Keep doing what you're doing. I would say you probably need more electrolytes. 25 drops is a good start, but for many of us, especially when you're going through the keto adaptation and the carbohydrate withdrawal time period, you need more electrolytes because you're urinating out a lot of fluids and electrolytes.
Michelle, how does maintenance work, and how do you know you're ready for that step? That's a good question, Michelle.
Maintenance?
So maintenance basically means that you have met.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You have met the health goals that you set for yourself. So if you wanted to come off your blood pressure medication and you wanted to lose 50 pounds, you've done both of those things. That's basically means that you're in maintenance. And really, for most people, the only thing you need to change is that you don't have to really think about things anymore. You just eat the way you've been eating that got you to those health goals. So for most people, that means staying under the 20 total grams of carbs and continuing to prioritize protein and eat healthy fats. So maintenance for most people, nothing changes.
Yep.
For very few people do you have to go back and kind of tweak things. It's mostly if you've been calorie restricting, then you don't really need to do that anymore. And if your goals change, you want to build muscle, you want to run a 5K or something like that, then you would need to like increase what you're eating and things of that nature.
Yep, I totally agree. And when you've reached your maintenance weight and all your numbers are normal, then if you want to, you can experiment. Keep in mind that keto, carnivore are not weight loss diets. They are weight optimization diets. So you don't have to change anything when you hit your goal weight, because you're not going to keep losing weight until you just fall away to nothing. That's not going to happen. You're going to go to your ideal body weight and stay there.
Sherry, hey, welcome back.
Hey, Sherry.
Been bison, egg yolk, and ghee only. I was feeling quite a bit better. Now I'm feeling less energy and a little clammy. Could it be electrolytes?
Could be. Yeah, you may need to bump them up a little bit, Sherry. Absolutely. Somebody asked if bison bones or lamb bones are good for bone broth. 100% yes, they are. Any bone from any animal you eat, I would put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. And when you've got a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of bones, then it's time to make a big, big pot of tasty bone broth.
Hey, Karen, her 70th birthday is Friday. She's feeling great. So thankful for both of you and Keto. Happy early birthday, Karen.
Everybody wished Miss Karen Shriver a happy birthday coming up.
Devin wants to know, is creatine okay to add for weightlifting while doing carnivore?
Yeah, you're probably going to be wasting your money, but it's not going to hurt a thing if you want to add it. It might help a little.
Stefan wants to know, are lamb bones good for making broth?
I just answered that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, any bone whatsoever. All you guys need to save all your bones in a 1 gallon size Ziploc bag. Keep them in the freezer. And when you've got the bag stuffed full, then you can make your bone broth.
How to keep a good immune system? Is there any way to keep your immunity healthy and strong?
Oh, there's a ton of ways. You, first of all, want to eat a proper human diet. And the way that's going to help is by keeping your blood sugar levels low. I've got videos about immune health on this YouTube channel. When you eat a high carbohydrate diet and spike your blood sugar, you cripple part of your immune system cells, one of the white blood cells that has is a macrophage. It can't even do its job when you've got high blood sugar. And so you've got to keep your blood sugar normal. You've got to keep your insulin level normal, and you've got to keep your levels of inflammation normal, so that you're not confusing your immune system. And then it'll be much stronger and it'll fight off lots of nasty viruses and bacteria.
Joe, don't worry, I got you. Joe has a comment over here. Gluconeogenesis sucks. Carnivore 1+ year. AM glucose takes off like a rocket. A1C increases every 3 months from 5.8 to 5.9 from 5.9 to 6.0. And my CPAP diet increased from 2.5 to 3.5. And my TG HDL is 3.
Yeah, Joe, your numbers make it look like you may have some hidden carbohydrates in a sauce or a condiment or a rub. I would really take a look at everything with fresh eyes. If you've been venturing off into the chicken and pork, I might tighten back up to ruminant animals only, cow, sheep, goat, and buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Random.
Bison.
Mojo says, Doc, your wife is hot. Thank you.
I know, right? There's something. What is up with you? You're bringing out
Mojo's fine. That's not. There's been some really naughty comments.
I know.
He says, respect. How to stop my sugar cravings after 3 years of extended fast. So he's been extended fasting, but still has the cravings.
How many carbohydrates are you eating per day? A lot of us have to eat as close to zero carb as we can to get the carb cravings or the sugar cravings to lessen. Even for some of us, I think some of us are just lifelong sugar addicts. I am. If I eat the tiniest bit off the carnivore plan, I'll be in the kitchen milling around at 9 p.m. looking through the cabinets, looking for some kind of stupid carbs. Can't help it. I think I'm just wired that way. And so I think you can lessen your carb addiction, your sugar addiction, by eating as low carbohydrate as possible. It's extended fasting is great, but I don't know that it helps as much with the carb cravings, the carb addiction, as does eating a very, very low carbohydrate diet.
Thank you, Kristen. Stacy, Pico's here. Thanks for the video. I gained 13 pounds on a vegan diet. Will going keto get rid of that weight? Thank you. Yeah,
and perhaps slowly, but definitely, surely it will. And I'm so glad you brought up the PCOS video. I just posted it today. If any of you guys have a friend or a loved one, a younger sibling, a child or a grandchild who has PCOS or who you suspect might, please share that video with them. There is so much research about a low-carb diet, a ketogenic diet, being the way for anybody who has symptoms of PCOS or who has been formally diagnosed. And there's actually research that shows that a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, is not the way. Okay, it is absolutely makes the inflammatory markers worse for somebody who has PCOS. And so many young folks in their teens and 20s these days, they've been brainwashed into thinking that a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet. And so you've got these young ladies suffering from PCOS thinking, oh, my doctors told me I should eat a plant-based diet, so I guess that's the best one for PCOS. And it's absolutely research proven to be the worst diet you can possibly eat for PCOS.
Elias wants to know, can kids or toddlers start a carnivore or keto diet?
100%. The very first food that our now 2-year-old baby Beckett ate was beef ribs and eggs. Those were his first solid foods when he was weaning off breast milk. And still to this day, he eats, what would you say, 80% meat and eggs, 80%? Yeah, easy 80%. And he'll have some avocado. He'll have an olive. He'll have, what else has he been?
He likes nuts and berries.
Yeah, he likes nuts and he likes blueberries and strawberries and he likes cheese. But the majority of his daily food intake is meat and eggs.
And goat milk.
And goat milk, yes. He loves goat milk.
Where did that go? Wild Blue says, what did Neisha try to reduce thyroid antibodies prior to Ketovore, AIP, or Dr. Wentz protocol were either effective at dropping antibodies? I'm trying to get Hashimoto's into remission 1 month into AIP. So I did AIP, which is autoimmune paleo, and saw absolutely no difference. In fact, it may actually have made me worse because I'm just exchanging standard American diet sugar for whole food sugar. So I was eating sweet potatoes and quinoa and tons of fruits and vegetables, and I still wasn't prioritizing my protein. I was eating basically plant-based. And it didn't help at all until I started going true keto and cutting out the grains and all the carbs, even the healthy carbs. That's when I saw my antibodies and my symptoms, more importantly, subside and go away. And now I'm in remission. Meat-based is what put me into remission. So I did great on keto, but until I went, like, I eat 90% meat. At this point, very few vegetables, except for during the holidays. And then I kind of like let myself have a few treats and stuff. Yeah. But that's what got me where I am now, which is in remission.
Yeah. And I think AIP and Isabella's programs are good places to start.
Doctor.
I'm sorry. But most people are only going to have complete remission when they cut the carbs drastically.
I think that her book is a great resource of information. I just think that got her where she needed to be, and so she didn't push it further. But for some of us, we need to go further than her protocol because we may feel better, but until we push it, you don't know how good you can feel. So I'm glad I went ahead and just did my own research and basically tested myself, because there wasn't a lot of information about carnivore and Hashimoto's out there when I started. So
I've got two over here. Shifat says, please recommend best infant milk formula for a newborn. Shifat, if there's any way possible, you've got to find breast milk for your newborn. Okay. hopefully from the newborn's mother. But if that's not going to happen, find somebody, a neighbor or a friend or a family member who happens to be lactating and trade for milk, buy the milk. There are Facebook groups where you can get real human breast milk. If that's not a possibility, then you've got to find sheep's milk or goat's milk.
Goat milk, preferably.
Yeah, those are the next best things. Cow's milk is a very distant third. All of the infant formulas, I've looked at all of them trying to find something that's decent. They are all just literal crap. Like, they couldn't be any worse if they did have crap in them. That would probably make them less bad. They're so full of inflammatory crap. All the infant formulas are just embarrassingly unhealthy. And then I also had Patty says, what's the best way to wean off bupropion, XL, and Lexapro? Very slowly, Patty. I'm sorry that any of you guys who are on antidepressants, you can wean down and stop them, but you can't stop them cold turkey. They're not technically habit forming or addictive, but you will have crazy, weird withdrawal symptoms if you try to stop them cold turkey. Talk to your doctor, Patty. And any of you guys on an antidepressant who you want to come off it, you've got to wean down very, very slowly. Some people, it takes up to a year of weaning to be able to get off them, but you can absolutely get off them.
Jennifer says, I've noticed my body odor has changed since doing Ketovore. Is there something that I can do about it?
Well, many people notice, Jennifer, that their body odor changes for the better on Ketovore or Carnivore. I have heard of some very few people who seems like their body odor gets worse. I think if that's the case, that's probably your skin microbiota in your axillary region adjusting to your new diet. I think eventually you'll notice that overall that your odor is just less severe and less intense. What do you think about that? Anything you'd add? I'd be very careful.
I was reading that.
That's okay. You do that to me all the time. I would be very careful using an antiperspirant with lots of weird chemical crap.
I think that it's probably you're just in deeper state of ketosis, and a lot of times your body odor will change when you're in that deep state, and it's temporary, and it's just going to resolve on its own.
Yep, I agree.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, Brad. Lots of news, noise recently about my study showing that high-fat diet causes prostate cancer. Do you have a comment on this? And thank you. You guys rock.
Yeah, there's no research on the planet Earth that shows a causative relationship between eating meat and prostate cancer. Now, there's lots of epidemiological research that shows a possible association. And that's a very, very different thing than a causation relationship. So there's no research on the planet that shows that eating more meat increases your risk of prostate cancer or any other cancer known to man.
Fully laden swallow. Welcome back. Going back to urologist next week to request a different med as Flomax doesn't seem to work. Any thoughts for an alternative? Thanks as always.
There's about 4 medications right now that are FDA approved and relatively low side effect profile. Your urologist they're usually very, very good about saying, hey, okay, let's try this one instead. Now, there's a few of the older BPH meds that are side effect laden and I would avoid. But most of the newer ones, they might be a little higher copay, but they don't have very many side effects at all.
Lindsay, tips on telling my new OB that I'm carnivore during pregnancy. This is my first pregnancy fully carnivore. I think you should just tell your doctor that you're eating a whole food, natural human diet. That's what if you're eating keto, ketovore, carnivore, if you don't want to have the discussion and the argument, just say I'm eating a real whole food, proper human diet. That's why I named it that. You can just say you're eating anti-inflammatory diet.
Yep.
And leave it at that.
Yep. Say I'm avoiding all processed foods and sugar, and leave it at that. Any of those are acceptable. How many of you guys have been able to come off an antidepressant because of keto or carnivore, or have noticed an improvement in your body odor since eating keto or carnivore? Tell me in the comments. I want to see how many of you guys have noticed that.
Thank you, Maureen. You got something over there?
Jennifer says, social drinking once a week. How does that affect keto? Well, now, Jennifer, if you mean social drinking once a week as in, I had 1 or 2 zero carb mixed drinks, that's probably not going to affect your keto much at all. But if by weekly social drinking you mean that you woke up the next morning and didn't know where you were and didn't know where your car was, then that's going to probably stall out your keto and you're going to lose some of your gains. So
alcohol's never keto. Unfortunately, it's always going to pause or stall your ketosis. It's not a health food, but this time of year, most people are socially drinking. If you're doing it responsibly, then
Shafat, you absolutely can breastfeed if you're taking injectable insulin. Now, also realize if you're a type 2 diabetic, you don't need that insulin if you're eating low carb enough. But while you're pregnant, your doctor will probably want to keep you on the insulin. You 100% can breastfeed on insulin. Yes.
Sherry says, PhD will give unbelievable body recomposition results. Check out my B and A or 2 Crazy Ketos. Dr. Berry should trademark that optimization nutrition. Have you watched the 2 Crazy Ketos? They did their lab update.
No, I haven't seen the update yet. I've got to watch
check it out. They did triple VE for how long? 2 months?
2 or 3 months. Yeah.
And they did their labs prior and their labs after. So if you're interested in seeing how they were affected by eating beef, butter, bacon, and eggs only, go check out 2 Crazy Ketos.
Yeah, so many people in the comments saying I'm off my antidepressant. I stopped using antiperspirant. I only use a light dose of deodorant now. Shield says he hasn't used deodorant in 3 years since being carnivore. Yeah, it's kind of amazing all the things that your body does when you start eating a proper human diet. I got to watch these comments tonight. You brought out the naughty boys.
Jerome. Some keto docs say you must eat palm-sized grass-fed meats, and too much protein will stop weight loss and convert to sugar. Is this true?
No, Jerome. All that's dumb, and none of that's true, and there's no research to support any of that. Dr. Ben Bickman, Professor Ben Bickman, is an excellent resource. You can watch his videos. He has videos all the time on Instagram. I think he makes one every day. But he is a PhD, a professor. All he studies is insulin and glucose and glucagon metabolism. And he says that if you're eating a low-carb diet, it is impossible to eat enough protein, eat enough meat to spike your blood sugar. It just doesn't work that way. Now, if you're taking a big wallop of protein powders that come in a big tub, you might spike your blood sugar doing that. But if you're getting real protein from real meat, you don't have to worry about that if you're eating low carb.
Lee and Z, natural ways to help anxiety, focus, and attention. I've always had issues, maybe have ADHD, but I don't want to be on a stimulant like Adderall.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. If she's ADHD, yeah, I've got ADHD.
She said maybe.
Also, Lindsay, I definitely have it. And I noticed that my symptoms are much less severe on a carnivore diet. They got a little better on keto, not a lot, but on carnivore, they're much better. But I still have it.
Most people with those type of issues find that meat-based or carnivore really help with those type of.
But I still have symptoms, make no mistake, but they're much less annoying now to other people in my life, and they don't bother my productivity as much. I saw a question go by about what do you drink on a carnivore diet. So we drink reverse osmosis water. We have an under sink filter. We drink sparkling mineral water. We drink unsweetened tea. We drink black coffee. What do you guys drink on keto, Ketovore, carnivore? What's your favorite go-to drink when you're actually thirsty? Because that's the only time you should drink.
Depends on how strict you're being with carnivore too. Mm-hmm. Like some people drink flavored sparkling waters even when they're carnivore.
Yeah. Dawn, if your goiter is caused by low iodine, which almost all goiters are, then taking iodine either in the form of iodine-rich foods, I've got a video on this channel about that, or something like Lugol's 2% iodine, or Keto Chow's Daily Mineral Drops, which has iodine, your goiter is going to get smaller. Yes. Now, don't self-diagnose a goiter because you might have a thyroid tumor, right? And you're not a doctor, so you don't know if it's a goiter or a tumor. Go to your doctor. If it is indeed just a goiter, then you can make it smaller, at least to some degree, by getting enough iodine in your diet.
Orlando says, can I lose weight eating meat, protein, and eggs 3 times a day without intermittent fasting?
Yes, Orlando, but I'd love it if you would eat your 3 meat and egg meals in an 8-hour feasting window and then not eat for 16 hours.
Technically, everyone's intermittent fasting
Yeah.
because you're not eating while you're sleeping.
Yep,
So
yep,
you would
yep.
just be extending that.
Yeah. And I'm actually working on a video right now about dry fasting. Have any of you guys ever heard of that? Any of you guys practice dry fasting? We all dry fast every night while we're asleep for 7 or 8 hours. We don't eat or drink anything. So I'm thinking about making a video about dry fasting. What do you guys think about that? Are you making your famous stuffing, Lori wants to know, for Thanksgiving?
Yes. Yes, I am. Who else is? Is anyone else making my Thanksgiving? We call it dressing. Some people call it stuffing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Somebody
It's
corrected me
delicious,
the other day.
is the point.
They said if you stuff it in the
That
chicken's
is
butt,
stuffing.
that's stuffing. But if you just put it in a bowl, it's dressing.
However, that's not necessarily what the rule is. Some people just call it stuffing, even if it's not stuffed into the butt of a turkey. I don't care what you call it. Just eat it and enjoy it.
There's only one way to stuff a turkey.
Is there?
I don't know. I just thought I would say that.
Oh my gosh.
Now, her stuffing dressing is on her YouTube channel, and I'm telling you, I'm a Southern boy, so I've had lots of dressing and stuffing. This is by far the best, and it is 100% keto, low carb. It's almost Ketovore.
It's cornbread dressing. No, it doesn't have corn in it. Okay.
Oh my God, it's so
Paz
good.
says, I bought a chat and didn't realize I got to put a message in here. Do you have any advice to help someone soldering from hemorrhoids to heal?
Suffering. Maybe?
That is either diet or supplements.
Yeah, Paz, we've had lots of people reach out to us and say that their hemorrhoids were much less painful, much less swollen on a Ketovore carnivore diet. Have any of you other guys noticed that your hemorrhoids, you may still have them, but they just don't get inflamed and bother you nearly as much on Ketovore carnivore? Have you noticed that?
Crown of Curls, your super chat went away. If you'll type it in the comments, we'll try to.
Oh, sorry. We'll try to find you.
Melissa says, 2-month-old. Oh, God. Why is it like this?
These comments, man.
Something about breastfeeding, but I didn't get to read it because
Lots of you guys are already dry fasting. I love it. Is this Jen? Is that the one you're looking for?
No,
okay.
Crown of Curls, but go ahead and read
Okay, Jen Atkins says, it feels like I'm going to go bald soon. Is losing hair in pregnancy normal? I couldn't eat meat or eggs for a while. Could the carbs have caused this? Probably not the carbs.
Lack of protein.
It's the hormone changes during pregnancy and after pregnancy. And then also you just weren't getting enough protein, probably. Yep. It's the combination of that. But anybody who's pregnant who just has had a baby, they're going to have a little hair loss.
Usually you're losing it after you've had the baby, not during pregnancy. But I bet that you weren't eating enough food in general, and then you also weren't getting enough protein, and then you were overeating carbs. So it just like everything all together. Don't worry, it's temporary. You're gonna be fine.
Yep, you're gonna be fine.
Kelly says, me and my wife are first responders. She's an RN. She hates that I'm on carnivore. I eat too much red meat and good fat. She says there's no actual science behind it. How can I convince her?
Well, you might go to my YouTube video where I actually have the research listed about the carnivore diet. Professor Mickey Banduri, I always mispronounce his name. But basically, for the last 3 million years, we've been super carnivores. Only when about 13,000 years ago, at the end of the Pleistocene, we didn't choose to start being farmers. Okay, we didn't choose to start growing grains. We had to. We had no choice. And there's different opinions on why that is. But all we know is that if we had our choice, we always tried to eat as much fatty red meat, seafood as we possibly could. Maybe you could flip that question and ask her, show me the research that shows that an all red meat diet is bad for me. Not epidemiological, not observational, but actual causation research, control research. Show me some of that, and I'll stop eating my red meat. Hint, there's not any research like
also,
that.
Judy Cho wrote a great book.
Yes.
If you just get on Amazon and Google, it's called the Carnivore.
I've got it here somewhere. You see it over there? The Carnivore Cure. Yep, that's right.
I think somebody will tell me in the comments.
Yeah, the Carnivore Cure is a great book.
Judy Cho. She's great.
And also Saladino's book, the Carnivore Code. He's got a lot of the research in there.
Judy's book.
Yeah, Judy's got a great book too. But they both have all the research listed.
Oh my gosh, YouTube. Okay, Lindsay wants to know aspartame and brain fog.
Maybe, yeah. If I think for some of us, it's a definite thing. Others of us can consume aspartame and have seemingly no mental health issues with it, but some people get severe brain fog, absolutely, with aspartame. Somebody asked about the carnivore diet and herpes. As of this moment, I don't know of any diet or any medication that's going to cure herpes. I don't think we're there yet. There are a couple of prescription medications that can decrease the frequency of flare-ups and decrease the severity of flare-ups. Maybe by calming down your immune system and decreasing your levels of chronic inappropriate inflammation, a proper human diet like keto, ketovore, or carnivore might decrease the severity and the intensity, but there's no research on that yet.
Danny says, is it possible for cartilage to regenerate? I lost about 50% in my hips from ankylosing spondylitis. My doctor says it's gone forever.
Yeah, 3 things. Danny, you need to have a pot of bone broth on your stove right now. You need to drink lots of homemade bone broth. You need to stay active and actually move those joints. Do not sit around. And you need to Google prolotherapy and PRP therapy, because I used to do prolotherapy at the clinic before the fire. And I had people who were bone on bone in their knee, in their shoulder, and other joints. And then after 6 months worth of prolotherapy, they'd have a millimeter or 2 of new cartilage in the joint. I've seen it happen. There's entire books written about it. Prolotherapy and PRP therapy, but you've got to live on bone broth. You got to eat sardines with the bones in. You got to get all the collagen sources you can.
Melissa, 2-month-old, not gaining, is on breast most of the day. Is my milk not fatty enough? How do I make it fattier? I drink 1 to 2 gallons of raw milk weekly. So you went to the doctor and they're tracking your baby's weight, and the baby hasn't gained any weight whatsoever. That's something that they would need to do a workup on, because that is a failure to thrive.
And I'm guessing from the fact that you're drinking raw milk, Melissa, that you may be a little bit anti-modern medicine, which is fine. But in this case, you've got a 2-month-old with failure to thrive. You need to take your baby to the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty serious if a baby is not gaining weight. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the breast milk. There's an underlying problem there. So yeah. Definitely.
Exactly. Teresa says, your hair is incredibly beautiful.
Kidberry?
Neisha.
Oh my God, it was for you that time.
Damn it. I never get hair compliments.
Oh. All right. Polly wants to know, what are your thoughts on eating raw honey on a carnivore diet?
I think raw honey tastes delicious. I love it. I wish I had some raw honey right now. Now, that's the subjective part, okay? There is absolutely no nutritional or medicinal benefit at all from eating raw honey, cooked honey, spun honey, all of which I love. Freaking love them. Love them, love them, love them. Now, to use them topically, they're great for cuts, for wounds, for infection. They're wonderful for that. If you'd like to enjoy a little raw honey every now and then and just call it a cheat, I think that's totally fine. I think our ancestors, every time they found a honey tree, they ate the hell out of and ate it all and laid around in a sugar coma for 2 or 3 days under the honey tree. But they did that to put on weight, to gain fat.
Okay, listen, here's the short version. Some people can eat it and are fine. Most people, it is either triggering, it is going to spike their blood sugar, it is going to cause a binge fest, it is going to be a catalyst for going off the wagon and getting dragged behind it for quite a few months. And there is a subset of people who are metabolically healthy, have no diseases whatsoever, who are in physically optimum shape, work out all the time, including surfing and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And they're able to eat raw honey. There is a U-curve. But for most people with an autoimmune disease or mental health disease, metabolic disease, anything like that, any kind of honey or sugar in general is going to cause you to have side effects.
And that was the short version.
It was.
Honey is pure sugar, guys. Every time I talk bad about honey, I get hate comments. Honey's one of those things that is near and dear to, they're like, no, what about Maluka honey? What about this Norwegian honey that comes from pristine virgin bees. No, it's all pure sugar. I'm sorry. I freaking love it. It's not like I'm a honey hater. I love honey. It's just pure sugar.
Also, you're an adult. Do what you want.
Also that. Yeah. Yep,
I'm not your mama and he ain't your daddy. So
that's right. At least not tonight. So,
oh my God.
Well, you're getting all these naughty comments. Why can't I get a little crazy in here? Hey, Granny Berry's watching.
Well, I'm glad she's watching.
Panda Massage Honey. My granny is in Alabama. She lives with our parents down in Alabama, and she is watching on the YouTube machine. She's 91 years old. Everybody tell Granny Berry hi. She loves seeing hi Granny Berry from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. She really does get a kick out of it.
She does.
We're not just saying that.
My dad says she don't care nothing about ketosis. She don't care nothing about carnivore. All she wants to know is who said hi Granny Berry and where they were from.
That's right.
She loves it.
All right. In Master says, how do I gain weight on carnivore 3 months in? I'm down to skin and bones, getting way too skinny. I eat steak, bacon, and eggs mainly.
So there's 2 ways to gain weight, and this goes for keto, ketovore, or carnivore. If you want to gain fat, just start eating more carbs, and you'll gain fat. If you want to gain muscle, then you have to start lifting weights. It can be body weight. It can be steel weights. It can be gallon jugs of water that you've tied on a stick. It doesn't matter. But if you want to build more muscle than your body just naturally holds, you got to lift heavy stuff.
Be your toddler.
You can lift your toddler, 100%.
Lupe says, I went to see my doctor to check my blood work. They were great except for HDL and LDL cholesterol, but found out that my blood pressure was high. I've been doing OMAD keto. Why is my blood pressure high?
Lupe, I want you to buy a blood pressure cup that checks up here, not on your wrist. And I want you to check your blood pressure at home. You're going to sit quietly at least 1 hour after you wake up. Sit quietly for 10 minutes, be calm, relax, meditate, check your blood pressure, write it down. Do the same thing roughly 12 hours later in the evening. Calm, chill, relax, deep breathe, check your blood pressure, write it down. I think what you're going to find is that your doctor checked your blood pressure in their office after you've been waiting, been rushed around, and maybe got pulled over. That's not a real blood pressure. And doctors should know better than that shit, but very often they don't. And they should know better. They should know better. That is not a real blood pressure. If I came to your house right now and slapped your face, your blood pressure would be 200 over 100 because you'd be getting ready to whoop my ass. Then if I checked your blood pressure and said, oh, your blood pressure is high, I better put you on a...
Don't use that voice.
That's not a real blood pressure. A real blood pressure is checked at home when you're calm and quiet and relaxed. And I think you'll find, Lupe, your blood pressure's fine.
Stockton Guy, thank you, Dr. Berry, for all this great content. My A1C dropped from 6.4 to 5.7 in 3 months. Hey, following your advice, keep up the great work.
And you keep up the great work because that A1C is much better, but it ain't where you want it yet. You've still got a couple of tenths of a point to knock off that. So keep doing your good job as well.
Aaron, what's going to be on the table this Thursday at OB Farm? We're celebrating Thanksgiving here.
Yep.
So we are going to have a barbecued turkey and country ribs. And
that's for me.
My dressing and cauliflower cheesy bake casserole, green bean casserole,
and ribeye,
deviled eggs.
So are you going to make like 12 dozen?
Well, listen, I got did you get eggs today from the girls?
I will in the morning.
Because we have 4 eggs in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I'll get eggs in the morning.
I don't know how that happened. We had 4 dozen on Wednesday, whenever I went to the grocery store. That's why I didn't buy any more.
Joe says my hair is looking damn sexy tonight.
No, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Him. He
I needed that. I did. I needed that.
And are we having dessert?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You in the mood to make a dessert?
No.
Okay. Then probably won't have dessert.
No. And my dad will probably make dessert. Or he'll bring a dessert. Let's see here. Hey, Paul. I sent Saladino's Audible back. He reads it himself, and it's annoying. Does he read it himself? Ken Berry he should have read his himself.
I don't know. I was going to. You want to tell that story?
No. Okay. We don't have time for that. That was a long story.
Yeah, eggs go fast in this house, Boink 800. I'll tell you that. I'm just glad we got, 25 chickens in the backyard.
Dr. Berry, you are glowing.
Oh, thank you. I think Neisha's glowing.
Says, Dr. Berry, you are glowing.
Oh.
Valerie, some great pecan and pumpkin pie recipes that are keto. Yes, there are.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Howerton has a great pumpkin loaf recipe that we love, and it makes for a very good breakfast.
Yep. For my 50th birthday, Kim Howerton came to Nashville to celebrate my birthday, and she made keto tiramisu, and it was by far the best tiramisu I've ever had in my life, and I freaking love that stuff. I've had it many times. 100% keto. OMG! I don't know if she has that a video on her YouTube channel, but if she does not, go look. If she doesn't, you need to message her every day until she makes that video.
I'm pretty sure it's in our holiday Christmas book.
OMG! It is the best tiramisu I've ever had.
Stephanie says, will carnivore or ketovore help panic attacks and anxiety?
Oh,
Yes.
100%. So many people. Go watch my YouTube videos about anxiety and other mental health disorders. Read the comments. There's hundreds and hundreds of people saying, I thought you were full of crap. Then I tried it. I'm off my medication.
There's several people in here that are off their medication,
Yep,
going ketovore, carnivore.
Yep.
So feel free to share that. Marsha's
Yep.
one. She said my panic attacks are in remission.
Yep.
Carnivore Queen stopped my panic attacks and OCD. You gonna let me talk, or you gonna just go for it? Treasure Rescue says yes to ketovore, killing anxiety. Carol says my anxiety is so much better.
Yep. Now, you may still be an anxious person, and that's okay. That's just a different personality style. I'm the kind of guy, if I saw smoke coming through the vent, I'd be like, nah, that's probably fine. Neisha's not that person. She's much more anxious and she worries more than me, but that makes us a good couple, right? That's not pathology just because she tends to be more anxious than me.
It's when it is hindering your life quality
Exactly.
that it's a problem.
Exactly right. That's right. And so, look at all the comments right now and feel free to comment if you used to be on a medication for mental health and you got to stop it because you were eating a proper human diet. Please share your story in the comments because people are hungry for that kind of information. Mamas are supposed to worry, Liz said. Yeah, right. Kevin says Neisha has to worry. She's married to Ken. Thanks, Kevin. That's a dad joke, but I love it.
Kevin knows. So many people in the comments off their medications for anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD. It's amazing.
Absolutely. I love it.
Someone says, how are you eating pumpkin when you're carnivore? Listen, at Thanksgiving and carnivore, we're not labeling anything. It's eat good, quality, whole foods that are made with love. All right. We're not saying go get 12 Krispy Kreme donuts and go ham sandwich. All right. But
I see what you did there. That's good.
We're not carnivore.
Yeah. This is not
Thanksgiving. It's just a
This is not a religion.
day. Yeah, it's not.
This is a way of eating that we do to optimize our health. And so if once a year Neisha makes a keto pumpkin pie and I have a slice of that, that doesn't mean I committed a sin. That means I'm celebrating a holiday feast. And I probably will do that if she makes it. But on a daily basis, I eat the food that gives me my best health because I've got obviously a beautiful, sexy wife. And I've got this baby boy and I've got 4 other kids and who the hell knows, may have one on the way. You never know in this house. I've got to stay healthy. I got people who love me and depend on me and might be sad if I, die.
Listen, if you want to eat Krispy Kreme, again, not your mama, not your daddy, do what you want. But we're just saying, don't be the person that's
Right. Also, don't be that person. Do that again. That was
sexy, right? Alan, daughter trying to get pregnant and learns she has endometriosis. Can keto and intermittent fasting help with
100%. There's research on it. I've got a YouTube video on this channel about endometriosis. Both endometriosis and fibroids respond to a very, very low carb ketogenic diet. There's research about it. Okay. Both of those conditions are intimately related to hyperinsulinemia and chronic inappropriate inflammation. And keto carnivore decreases both of those. And we've had women report that their fibroids got smaller. We've had women report that their endometriosis symptoms got significantly less severe. Eating a proper human diet, 100% yes.
My cup in peace. Lost 45 pounds, low carb. Hey.
No, I love
And
it.
fasting, but in a plateau with the last 10, mostly in my lower belly.
Yeah. So the last 10 pounds are always the slowest and the hardest to get rid of. My cup, you are not alone. That has been the case for many thousands of people losing weight with any diet. The last 10 or 20 pounds are always the hardest. Keep doing what you're doing. You're getting all kinds of health benefits. The 10 pounds will come eventually, I promise.
And Master, follow-up question, do you recommend any non-inflammatory carbs? My body feels so much better on carnivore, but I do want some of that weight back. That's the one that's skin and bones wanting to gain weight.
So keto-friendly carbs. I've got YouTube videos about keto-friendly carbs, veg, fruits. You want to get the lowest carb, the fruits and veg with the least amount of lectins, phytates, oxalates, and phytoestrogens. I've got videos on this channel about those things. Yep. Piscian Princess says that on carnivore, her lipoma shrunk considerably. And I've had hundreds of people tell me that their lipomas, which is just a fatty, benign tumor under the skin, they in some cases got smaller, in some cases went completely away.
Look at this cat.
Where is baby Beckett? That's a good question,
Baby
Terry.
Beckett is with his cousins right now, playing with his cousins.
Yes.
Puerto Rican
He is
cousins.
having so much fun with his cousins. I love hearing him say the word cousin. This is a special message for Carolyn. Carolyn, if you're listening, your husband, Jeremy, loves the FNS out of you.
I feel like she should know that. Right?
No. Jeremy said I need to tell her. They've been married for 24 years, and Jeremy loves you like this.
Angelina, thank you very much. Joanna, thank you.
Thanks for the super chat, guys. That is awesome.
What do you think, Edward wants to know, of sleep music that supposedly stimulates different areas of the brain, like the hypothalamus?
You know, when I was a teenager, I used to buy these cassette tapes that had subliminal messages embedded on them. And I would listen to these tapes for hours and hours saying, you will be successful. You are a winner. You will make $1 million.
That's affirmations. That's not music.
But I think,
you don't think vibrations?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't seen any research, but I'm not opposed to it. If you feel like it helps you in some way and you're just listening to music, I think that's fine.
Beth, trying to lose weight after my first carnivore meal. I'm not hungry again all day. Should I be concerned about not eating enough on a daily basis?
The beautiful thing about a proper human diet is when you get truly physiologically hungry, your body is going to tell you so. Okay. But many people, and usually it's women, when they go carnivore, they eat once a day and they're like, I'm not hungry. And so if you've got extra.
You have to make, are you having alternate, like, did you lose your period? Is your hair falling out? Is your skin?
You're not eating enough if those things happen. That's right.
It's not always an okay thing to just not eat.
But if you're still 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight and you're not hungry, don't eat. It's fine. When you don't eat, you're going to burn that fat for fuel, and all that fat on your booty and your belly is locked up in protein and collagen. You're going to break that stuff down too, and there's your protein.
Kevin, Carrie gives you a run for your money every week. Have you seen a car eat meat? No, a car never eats meat. A carnivore.
Is that a mom joke?
Meat. Is this a girl Carrie or a boy Carrie though? I can't tell because it's Cary. Like that could be.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. I don't know. It's ambidextrous. See what I did there? Mr. Z, 1958. I am still practicing medicine. I have a very limited private practice right now, and I'm not taking any new patients. If that ever changes, I will announce it on my Patreon. The patrons will get first dibs if I ever have an opening in my private practice.
What's the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas? Black-eyed peas can sing us a song, but chickpeas can only hum us one.
Wow. Kevin is writing that.
That's good.
Kevin's writing that one down right now.
Thank you, Chan.
Yeah. He'll tell that one at the lodge.
That's a good one. All right. Rob wants to know, please advise, too much drama on this issue. 200 grams of fat, prioritize protein, or 1-to-1 in regards to macros for higher energy and fat loss. We always promote 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But then it's like you go from there. Is 1-to-1 working for you? Yes or no? And it depends on what the answer to that question is.
Yep.
And then you just lower your fat or you lower your protein. Like some people do better on high fat. Some people do better on high protein.
Yep.
Some people do better on 1-to-1. You have to figure it out.
Yep. But I'm okay with any of those options as long as you're eating very, very low carbohydrates. Holly Bell says, I love duck eggs. Can I eat too many in one day? No. Now, in my opinion, now the duck may have a different opinion, but I think you cannot eat too many chicken eggs, duck eggs, quail eggs, platypus eggs. You can eat as many eggs a day as you want. I would totally eat
a mammal egg. I don't know.
I would eat a platypus egg.
I would feel weird about it.
I wouldn't feel weird as I
it's
ate
such a
it.
weird animal.
It is, but I would still eat it.
And I'm pretty sure it only lays like one.
I would only want one. So
then you killed it.
It's
this kid. Joanna. I always want to say Joanna.
I like that.
Fancy.
Yeah.
She has hit a plateau. Been doing keto at a year and a half. I'm going to lose 5 to 10 more pounds. I'm not sure why I've stalled.
I've got a video, Joanna, called The 13 Reasons Why You Might Stall on a Low-Carb Diet. And it goes through every possible reason, almost every possible reason, but definitely it covers the most common reasons why you might be stalled. Now, keep in mind the most common reason you stall is because your body's just taking a pause, taking a break from the weight loss, and figuring out whether it should freak out because you're losing all this weight or not, because your body doesn't know how much you weigh. It doesn't know how overweight you are. All it knows is you're losing weight very fast. So sometimes, especially women's bodies, will just pause the weight loss for a while just to make sure everything's okay. Hey. So go watch that video about the 13 reasons why you might stall. That will help you understand what's going on.
Forks, Washington Carnivore. I love you. I follow you on Instagram. You know why?
Why?
She lives in Forks, Washington.
Oh, Neisha just wants to go walk around Forks.
Listen, I just got done watching Twilight for like the 100th time.
You know there's no real vampires there.
I don't care. It's beautiful.
It
there.
is, yeah.
Anyways.
There's like moss on the moss.
She wants to say, I like your guys' new pick advertising Monday Night Live. Well, thank you. I designed it myself.
She did, yes.
Casey says fish eggs and caviar, ?
Eat them up, 100%. I just bought Neisha some caviar to make sure she's getting plenty of omega-3 fatty acids.
Ostrich eggs. Huge omelet for 24 people. Have you ever had an ostrich egg?
No, not yet, but I will eat an ostrich egg.
I would totally eat
100% will eat it.
He has eaten a peacock egg before, one of my peacocks.
I didn't tell her for like a year.
He's in trouble.
Yeah. Marilyn Sanchez says, I want to eat raw eggs and liver. Is that safe? Yes, Marilyn. If the eggshell is uncracked and if the liver is fresh and smells good, you can absolutely eat them both raw. It's totally fine.
Joanna says, thanks. I will check out that stall video.
Gina's going to post a berry Christmas card that she took with us while we were in Omaha. Cool. I can't wait to see that. Tag us in that.
Sheena said, everyone says my husband looks like Sparkle Boy on Twilight.
Sparkle
I want to
Boy.
see a picture of your husband.
Yeah. Wow. I wish I looked like Sparkle Boy. June, thoughts on Actinil for osteoporosis. June, if you've been taking it longer than 12 months, talk to your doctor, but you can safely stop that. All the research was done on only taking Actinil, Boniva, Fosamax for 12 months. There's no proven benefit for taking it longer than a year. Yeah, Joe says, hit the like button. I agree, Joe. That'd be a great plan. So, wait a minute. I saw something about quail eggs in here
Carnivore
somewhere.
Queen. Any recommendations for natural hormone-free birth control? Abstinence. Checking your temperature daily is fairly accurate. There is no 100% birth control, zero on the face of the planet. It just does not exist unless you're just willing to abstain. So that's the main one, chemical free. Otherwise, the temperature, it comes with the app. I can't remember the brand. I think there's several now. And as long as you're doing it at the same time of day and being consistent, it is a fairly good form of birth control.
Yep. Stephanie says, what's the difference between low carb and keto? Stephanie, low carb for some people means under 100 total grams of carbs a day. For some people, it means under 50 total grams of carbs a day. For almost everybody with a brain in their head, keto means 20 or less total grams of carbohydrate per day.
I think the main difference for me is also ingredients. Low carb, you're allowed to have a bunch
It's a little dirtier.
of ingredients that most keto people that are like truly keto, like wheat and things like that. So low carb tortillas have wheat and things that are inflammatory, where keto people are trying to stay away from inflammatory foods like that. And so we're not allowed to have low carb tortillas.
We choose not to eat those
yeah.
things.
We stay away from inflammatory foods, where low carb is just mostly you're counting carbs and you're not worried about ingredients so much. Rob says, I've been carnivore for 2 months now. Things are going well. I use hot sauce sometimes for flavor, but I always make sure it's 0 carb. Any thoughts?
I think that's fine. Now, some carnivores can't do that. If they do that, they'll notice inflammation immediately. But if you can do that and you're like, no, I feel totally great afterwards, I think it's totally fine.
Most people, hot sauce is totally fine.
Yeah. Dr. Connie has just started to raise jumbo quail, and she's looking forward to some quail eggs. I've got 12 jumbo Coturnix quail.
They're not laying crap.
And they're about 9 weeks old and still haven't gotten an egg. And I'm getting sad about that. I don't know. They should be laying any day. Every morning I go out there and I'm like, huh? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I need a light.
Leandra, is carnivore the best way to go for dealing with iron deficiency anemia?
You can eat carnivore. Definitely that's going to fix it. But now, if your iron deficiency anemia is not from a blood loss or a blood destruction disorder, because those will also cause iron deficiency anemia. But if it's just because you're not absorbing enough iron, then the more red meat you eat, the more liver that you eat, the quicker you will reverse your iron deficiency anemia, 100%. Terry says, what about ground up eggshells? I think they're perfectly fine as long as you washed them before you cracked them and then you put them in the fridge and saved them up. I actually save all of our eggshells and I grind them up and I put them on our dog's food, our cat's food, and in the chicken and quail food so that they can get that excellent source of calcium and other minerals. But if you're going to eat them yourself, then definitely wash them thoroughly before you crack them.
Nancy, good one. Jokes are very corny tonight. That's not keto.
That's right. Corny jokes are not keto.
Ha! Carbs are bad for everything, Joe said. Somebody said, can carbs cause something about
What?
Can carbs be bad for eyesight? There you go.
Oh, high carb diet, 100%. Macular degeneration gets worse. Diabetic retinopathy gets worse. Cataracts get worse. Pretty much every eye condition is going to get worse if you're eating a high carb diet, 100%.
Becoming blind is a very severe side effect.
100%. Diabetic retinopathy, 100%. Yes.
If you let your diabetes go.
Yeah. If you love your eyesight and want to keep it, low carb.
Hey, I am fasting and carnivore. There's not really a question there. Do you mean should you fast while you're carnivore?
I think fasting and carnivore is the way. Hey, I am 100%.
Melly,
thanks for the super
thoughts
chat.
on root canals. I have one that's infected.
Melly, I have read about this extensively. Root canals make me very nervous. If you've never read about root canals and basically you're killing the tooth and then you're leaving the dead tooth in your body. That just feels very unnatural to me. I'm not a dentist, but I would probably have the tooth pulled. It's not the end of the world. If you've got a tooth that bad, just get it pulled. Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't think I would ever have a root canal unless it was like, my front main tooth or something. Hope I get there, says essential amino acid supplement while on a carnivore diet. Thoughts? I think
you're on carnivore diet.
You're getting every essential amino acid you're ever going to need on a carnivore diet. I would never waste money on a protein supplement, a collagen supplement, a branched chain amino acid supplement. If you're eating meat heavy, keto, ketovore, carnivore, all those powders are a waste of money. But hey,
Orlando, I get very anxious and fail to diet carb addict. How can I break that wall? I get depressed, type 2 diabetic, 320 pounds, A1C is 8.2.
Oh,
fasting sugar 180 to 200.
Orlando, my friend, my brother, you've got to break through that wall. I feel like that you need to watch our good friend, Dr. Robert Sivis. He's on YouTube. He's called the Carb Addiction Doc. And he really gets into the psychology and the mental health aspect of this. if you're using carbs to self-soothe, to replace things in your life that you should have, you can't just stop the carbs and not replace them with something, or you're going to fail. And that's his main point, or one of his main points. Check out the Carb Addiction Doc. But please, Orlando, please, I beg you, you've got to get that A1C down, and you've got to get that weight down, brother, or you're not going to be with us for many more years.
You can do it. Many in the chat have been exactly where you are.
Yeah. You guys give Orlando some
encouragement,
because I know exactly how he feels. I can remember when I was 297 and pre-diabetic, I'm like, I am fat as hell. And all I want to do is eat. I don't know. But it's because my life was empty in many ways. I didn't have things in my life that should be filling my life with joy. But I had a lot of carbs, and they seemed like they made me happy. But it was only when I started realizing I can't have happiness with carbs. I've got to find actual real things that make me happy and real people, and have that in my life. And Orlando, do not give up. Do not stop. I promise you, you can do this.
I've had several of you ask where this shirt is from, and y'all usually don't comment. This is from Free People. And it's pretty cute, right? It's got like puffs. It's just a long sleeve t-shirt, but it's got puff sleeves on it. Dr. Berry's shirt is from Goodwill. Just kidding.
I got it on sale.
Be.
I got it on sale. Somebody in the comments said that it seems like dentists are much more likely to promote a root canal than an extraction. That's because they can charge like 20 times more for a root canal.
And then also if you get a dry socket, like there's all kinds. Is it called dry socket?
Yeah.
I had to question, like, is that really? I remember the first time I heard a friend say that they'd gotten that. I was like, that's not what it's called.
Yeah. It's not fun, I hear.
No, it's awful. There's so many risks when you go in there and start messing with.
Yeah. Root canals pay very well, according to my dentist friends.
Seeker, lifelong vegetarian. Am I okay to eat mostly eggs, some bacon, and other meat only once or twice a month? I think that's much better.
I think that absolutely. I think that's a great step in the right direction. And also remember that oysters and other shellfish do not have a nervous system. They do not feel pain. They do not have emotions. If you ate oysters twice a week, you would not be harming any animal, but you would be getting excellent nutrition. So I love your plan. Add a few oysters in every day or once or twice a week, and I think you're going to notice your health benefits greatly.
Hey.
Baby Beckett. Come say hi, baby.
Nope.
Oh, he's being shy tonight. He's being shy.
Does he want to see the tree? That's okay. He doesn't have to come in here.
Bobby Z says, what sugars are good for desserts? No sugars, Bobby. Sugar is never good for you. But if you want to make a sugar-free dessert, a low-carb dessert, you can use something like stevia or monk fruit extract. What else would you
Xylitol, allulose.
Yep.
You say
all
monk
those
fruit already?
Yep, all those are pretty good substitutes. Oh, let's see. I saw something. Elizabeth, I don't think Lugol's 2% iodine, 1 drop daily is giving you diarrhea. I think that's coincidental.
Oh, we're done here.
Are we done here? We went over. Yeah. Sorry, guys, that we went so long. Thanks so much for the super chats, and thanks for being part of this journey with us. If, like I said earlier, if you have specific questions you want to ask me about your medications, your lab results, your health, your nutrition, or your mama, become a patron on patreon.com. There's a link in the show notes. For $1 a month, $3 a month, $5 a month or more, you can support the work we do here, and you'll have direct access to me to ask me your questions, and I'll answer you. How about that? And
also, the holidays are coming up. You know what makes a great gift? Lies My Doctor Told Me, which is available on Amazon, on Audible, and hard copy.
So yep. Wherever fine books are sold.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back next Monday.
Yep. See you next week, Monday, 7 p.m.
Central.
Full
stop.
Have a good night.